we bring in a friend who we've known for years and years and years. He's an author, relationship therapist, Dr. R.G. Alan Wilson.
Some expert advice on how we can all talk to them. Joining us now is relationship expert Dr. R.G. Alan Wilson. She's the author of Courageous Conversations Connect. Good morning, R.G.
Doctor, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning, Janelle. It's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
And as we mentioned, a lot of people just dealing with anxiety during all of this. What are your suggestions?
Some of the things that we need to remember is that this is temporary. This is temporary inconvenience for long-term gain. And as long as we stay healthy, Janelle, then everything else is recoverable.
Talk to your children about what's happening right now. What are the best ways to do that?
There's some do's and don'ts, right? So you want to tell them that you're going to be here. We're going to be okay. Kids want to know that they're secure and they're safe. So predictability, structure, and consistency. You also want to let them know you have a plan. And even if you don't have a plan, tell them that you're working on one.
Good morning, everyone. It's Dr. RG. We're here for our Courageous Conversations Connect space where we're having our quarantine talks. It is April 29th, 2020. Can you believe it? We are in week 7 of quarantine, and this is day 27. Oh my goodness. Whew. All right. So we're going to dig in and we're going to be talking about forgiveness today. So stay with us. It's going to be a great conversation. Keep sharing, join tags, and sending me some smiley faces and some hearts. That helps with the algorithms. IG family, I know you're with us in terms of Facebook and YouTube. So you guys stay with us. We're going to have a great conversation. We're going to take a quick break from our sponsors and we'll be right back. Hey guys, and we are here again for the Courageous Conversations Connect space. Our quarantine talks. Good morning, Billy Joe. Thank you for joining, Love Bug. I am so happy to be here. It's a beautiful day. I've already gone out and gotten some fresh air. I've done my prayer, my meditation today. We got a long day ahead of us, Morgan and I. And so please kind of sign on, share, like, send me my smiley faces and my hearts. Let people know that we're on. Let people know also that we are airing on the YouTube page as well. So people can go over there. They can subscribe to our YouTube page. We'd appreciate it. And hit the notification button so that you get notifications of what we're doing and where we're doing them. Today, we've got a little bit of a hard stop because we're going to be transitioning and doing, I'm going to be participating in a panel discussion for the city related to grieving. So it's entitled, It's Time to Grieve. I think they were calling it a town hall, but it was really like a conversation with regards to all the ways in which we are having to grieve and having to develop new relationships with our grieving process, which is pretty vast, quite frankly, in terms of what it looks like for many of us to grieve the losses that we incur every day, and especially more recently as a result of COVID-19. So if you are, available, please go onto the Facebook page. I think the flyer, maybe Morgan will be posting it as well. But if not, go onto the Facebook page and you'll see the flyer, you'll see the link, and you can register there. That's going to be going on from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Okay, so we have a little bit of a hard stop. So we're going to get right into, and thank you for joining IG family, as well as our Facebook family and our YouTube family. We're going to get right in. I had told you that we're talking about purging all week, and this particular topic for today is specifically related to forgiveness, right? how do we purge unforgiveness, which I think, quite frankly, requires a longer time. So we'll probably cycle back to that. Good morning, Stephanie Stewart. Thank you for joining. We'll probably cycle back to that. But in the meantime, this is where we're at in terms of what we're going to be thinking about with regards to purging. So that said, you know what we do in the very beginning of our conversation. We move into a place of breath. We begin to breathe in and breathe out. We also highlight for each of us who we're breathing for. Good morning, Nicole. So please tell me, give me the shout outs and tell me who you're breathing for today. Is it a family member? Is it a frontline person? Is it someone who is an essential worker? Is it someone that perhaps maybe has the virus or that you're worried about that they've been exposed to the virus? There's lots of people that we can breathe in, and what we're breathing in is not just oxygen, and we hold it for 10 minutes and then 10 seconds and breathe out. We also are breathing in energy, and we're breathing in compassion and serenity and peace and kindness and care and love. We're breathing all of those positive messages in, and then we're breathing out, or exhaling, if you will, not only carbon dioxide, but worry, fear, anxiety, frustration, disappointment, sometimes unforgiveness. We're breathing out those things. So that is going to be our process. I ask you guys to get into a very comfortable position, back straight, move around a little bit to kind of loosen yourselves up. You can take the posture of your middle finger and your thumb, or you can put your hands here and over your lap, or hands to the side of your thighs, wherever you're most comfortable. And let's just move into this space of peace and kindness and serenity. I want to hear who you're breathing for. I really want to give a shout out specifically to the doctors, and specifically Dr. Ayla Stanford and all the Black doctors and Black medical professionals that are moving around to the hot spots in the city of Philadelphia, doing, quite frankly, what the larger government should be doing, specifically because there are more Black and brown people that are impacted and affected by this virus. And so they're doing a phenomenal job. They're putting themselves in harm's way. They're doing it because out of the kindness of their heart, and because this is their profession, and they saw a need and they began to feel it. So I'm breathing in oxygen for them, and breathing in positive energy for them, and breathing out negative energy and worry and fear for them. All right. So at the sound of my voice, guys, we're going to, when I count to 3, we're going to breathe in through our nose. I'm going to hold my fingers up to count to 10 seconds. Then we're going to breathe out through our mouth, and we're going to do that 5 times. Ready? Set, go. Billy Joe says she's breathing that just had their babies and are separated. Oh, for people that just had their babies and are separated from their babies. That's a good one. That's a good one, Billy Joe. All right. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Great. Breathe in through the nose. And out. That's good. Energy is exercising those lung muscles, that capacity. We need that. Breathe in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Breathe in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Really good. Make the last one count, guys. Good one. Breathe in through the nose. and out through the mouth. Awesome. That was great, guys. Didn't you feel that? Did you feel that energy that you were breathing in, that oxygen, expanding your lung capacity? Did you feel that negative energy going out of you? I want you guys to practice this throughout the day. I feel that it's really, really important for us to exercise our lung capacity. This disease attacks our lungs it's attacking other places in our body, but specifically our lungs, and it builds up fluid in our lungs. And so we have to build up our immune system. And so this is a way to do that. It also relaxes us and gives us a sense of peace and calm. Hey, my bonus daughter is on. Good morning, Jessica. Jessica said, Jace is 6 weeks today, breathing for my honeybee. Oh, congratulations, Jay. So you guys know I posted the other day that my grandson is just growing so beautifully. And Jessica, you're doing such a great job. And so today is, Jace is 2 months. So we thank you for just being such a great mommy. And we are so excited about our grandson, Jace. So thank you, Jessica, for joining. Love you both. Tanya says, good morning, Dr. RG. I'm Tanya, BJ's friend in Nevada. Oh, I'm breathing for those very concerned if they will return to full-time employment in May. Many I know are feeling anxious and nervous. Thank you, Tanya, and thank you for joining the show. Thank you, Billy Joe, for inviting your friend from Nevada. And yes, we do need to be breathing for those people who are concerned about employment. Oh my goodness, Dr. Tina Scott is on. Good morning. Good morning, Dr. Tina Scott. We should be breathing for the mental health professionals like Dr. Tina Scott and Dr. Marquita Williams and many other those mental health professionals, including myself, that are actually on the front lines doing John Taylor. Yes, Dr. John Taylor, well, soon to be Dr. John Taylor, who did a phenomenal interview on the Love the Way That You Live platform with Charlie Lewis last night at 8:00. So if you did not see it, it is worthy of you going and checking it out. It's on Charlie Lewis's Facebook page, and it specifically talked about therapy with Black men during this era. So shout out to all those mental health professionals. We need to be breathing for them because they are doing this work that is very, very stressful right now. So keep thinking about that positive energy that makes us feel connected because we're all in this together. Please share. Make sure that you share with others. Send likes. Send me my thumbs up and my happy faces and my hearts. That definitely helps with the algorithms here. And so I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you. We are in this together. This is the Courageous Conversations Connect space where we have our quarantine talks. You guys know we have this talk every day. Early on in this pandemic, Morgan and I were thinking about what could we do to make a contribution since we were in the house. And we came up with this idea of doing quarantine talks because we felt like, well, we're all trying to recalibrate. We're all trying to figure this out. None of us has been down this road before. I don't know anybody that's been through a pandemic unless you're 102 years old and you were here for the Spanish flu. So we thought that maybe this would be a great space for us to have the conversations. And so far, so good. So please let people know that we're here. We're here to serve. We're taking a position of leadership in this space in order to help, not only help you, but it helps us. Yeah, we do this together. So the other piece that we're going to transition into is our mantra. Sometimes we do this and sometimes we don't, but I like to incorporate our mantra. So one of our mantras is our Serenity Prayer. The other one is our Power Prayer, right? And I like that one for today. So it's that we turn pain into power when we appreciate the process. It's just real simple. It's not difficult. So we're going to say that 3 times together. We'll breathe quickly in between, and then we'll go into our conversation. So 1, 2, 3. We're saying this together. We turn pain into power when we appreciate the process. Breathe in and out. We turn pain into power when we appreciate the process. Breathe in and out. Last time. We turn pain into power when we appreciate the process. Breathe in and out. And that is so true, right? We do turn pain into power. Good morning, Ruth Ann. Thank you for the congratulations on our grandbaby. We do turn pain into power when we appreciate the process. And the process today that we're talking about is forgiveness, right? We're specifically this week highlighting what we need to purge in our lives, because we've never had a time before where we were able to be still enough to think about how to purge. Everybody's been so busy, right? We're on our hustle, we're on our grind, we're on a hamster wheel, we're doing lots of different things, moving in lots of different directions. And this has been a time where, for those who are not essential workers, we've had to say, let's be still, let's figure out what is it that we need to purge out of our lives. Is it people? Is it things? Is it clutter? Is it the negative messages in our head? Is it unforgiveness? So specifically today, which I feel like is a big topic, I think that many people are walking around bound by the negative, toxic messages in their heads around not forgiving based on injury, right? So here's the deal, guys. We don't really get through this life without being injured. Now, many of us are being injured by this COVID-19 virus, and it's invading our bodies or the people that we actually love, right? But it's also causing us to take a breath and take a pause and identify what really matters. And if you are holding unforgiveness in your heart, in your head, in your mind, in your body, in your spirit, if you're doing that, right? Think about all the wasted time, all the wasted energy. Do you even really know what you're angry about, what you're upset about? Is it the injury? Is it that the person didn't ask for forgiveness? Is it that they harmed you without regret for what they've done? Is it that you haven't forgiven yourself? It's whatever it is, it's not worth it to hold on to it. Good morning, Charla. Thanks for joining. Good morning, Michelle. It's not worth it, right? And there's too many people dying, too many people leaving this earth that haven't necessarily made amends. And I don't know, quite frankly, if there are persons like us in this crew that are holding on to the negative energy and the negative emotions that really do not allow us to fully live our best lives, right? And Michelle, she says, thank you so much, Dr. RG, for this exercise. I appreciate that. When we focus on the process of unforgiveness, it doesn't really help us, right? When we focus on not forgiving, quite frankly, it doesn't help us to, hold on to it. It really doesn't. And many people that I work with, when I'm asking them why they're so angry, why they're so mad, why they're so disappointed, they can't really always even remember what the incident was, right? Michelle says, if we don't forgive, how do we expect or want God to forgive us? We got to learn, like you said, to let it go. Absolutely, Michelle. Absolutely. And so I'm going to give you, I know that we said we had a little bit of a hard stop here. This is from week 40 in the Courageous Conversations. I've got a whole week that is specifically dedicated. Please be sure to like and share this. I've got a whole week dedicated to forgiveness, the power to let go, the courage to forgive, and the freedom to move on courageously. So I want to read this quickly to you guys, and I want us to have a conversation about it. It says, courageous conversation. The first courageous conversation is everyone falls out with a family member, partner, friend, now and again. Have you ever wondered why moving on from family or relationship drama and or trauma is easier said than done? At every stage in life, a stage of our lives, our relationships, families, and friends present us with both joys and challenges. Learning to manage stress, to understand our own emotions and behaviors, and to communicate effectively can help strengthen our emotional health, as well as our connections to the important people in our lives. Forgiveness is one of the hardest challenges that many of us will ever experience. Yet, I think you would all agree with me that if you ever forgiven or been forgiven, it's also one of the most rewarding and liberating experiences we could ever have. Unforgiveness is often born out of pride and ego and fear, and often causing us to remain in a holding pattern that can sabotage our very freedom to live our best lives. In essence, unforgiveness has the power to cancel out our assignments, but forgiveness honors a more powerful principle, leading us to share our love, light, truth, and accountability, which ultimately leads to hope and freedom. I believe that the most of us won't get through this life without being challenged to utter the words, "I forgive you," or "Please forgive me." At times, we may even have to learn to forgive ourselves for years of self-inflicted injury, which may then free us up to forgive those we love for their intentional or unintentional repeated injuries. Let's start today. So, what do you guys think about that? You know, when we really boil it down and deconstruct it, some of the most powerful acts of forgiveness are really to forgive ourselves. Forgiving ourselves for maybe not understanding, forgiving ourselves for hurting the people that we love, forgiving ourselves for not moving in the direction that maybe God has intended for us to move. That purging process is maybe needing to start with us. How, if we're honest with us, how have we been operating, given that we've been cluttered inside with negative and toxic messages that have only served to keep us bound in a place of lack of productivity, in a place of anger, in a place of bitterness sometimes, in a place of sadness and sorrow. So, the other days we were talking about, purging our spaces and, purging this expectation, if you will. Yesterday, we talked about unrealistic expectations. Today, it's about us. When will we take the charge, take the call to actually move in a place in which we allow ourselves to be free and liberated from unforgiveness? And now, I'm not saying that the injury wasn't real. I'm not saying that we've not done things to either engage in self-inflicted injury or we've not harmed someone else. But the truth is, this is my belief, that God has forgiven us all. So it's now time for us to make the decision to forgive ourselves and others so that we can be free, so that we can be stronger after this and better, as I always say, not bitter. All right, we're going to dig in. I'm going to give you some quick tips that you can utilize to forgive right after this. We're going to take a moment from our sponsors and we'll be right back. So stay with us.
Growing a business can be overwhelming. However, it doesn't have to be difficult. With the right resources, task becomes easier and the rewards are great. Easy Make Systems makes online marketing and business management less confusing and more affordable. We've placed all the necessary components to make your job easier. Our Easy Make website builder gives you the ability to create stunning websites or landing pages. Utilize our Easy Make Social to stay current with social media and our Easy Make Mail to drive more engagement through emails. How about creating 24/7 customer service with our Easy Make bots to be there whenever your customer needs to reach you? And more importantly, you can access all of our software on an easy-to-use dashboard that gives easy access from one location. Easy Make Systems is your single source solution.
Do it all at the same time. So, hey guys, we're back again in the Courageous Conversations Connect space where we're having quarantine talks. And today we're talking about purging forgiveness, purging unforgiveness, if you will. And I want to ask you guys, who do you need to forgive? What do you need to forgive? Where is the space that you need to embark on this journey of forgiveness, internally or externally? I said in the reading that, none of us will get through this journey without actually saying, please forgive me for something that I've done, or I forgive you for something that you've done. And really, that is the beginning of the journey towards freedom. because I don't think that we're all aware sometimes of the energy that we're spending focusing on all of the negative or focusing on the specific injury. If it's ourselves that we need to forgive, my good friend Sheila Boyton used to always say that, we need to, or she would say, like, this is an ING. We're recovering together. It's not an ED. So we're working on this process together. And our history is meant to inform us. It doesn't have to define us, but sometimes we're defined by the spirit of unforgiveness. Oh, good morning, Mama Stokes. Nicole with the K says, I need to forgive my parents and myself. Ooh, amen to that, right? So and here's the thing about multiple points of forgiveness, right? We talked yesterday about choice points. At least speaking it into the atmosphere is the beginning stages of the forgiveness. However, we need to be patient with ourselves. And so I wanted to give you all some tips to help you with this process of forgiveness, because if you think you're just going to do it all overnight, it's not going to happen, right? Because usually what I tend to say in the practice is you didn't get here overnight. These injuries didn't occur overnight, and they've been with you for a long time. So be patient with yourself with the process. Here's some things that can, be the byproduct of forgiveness when you think about being on this journey and being patient with yourself. Healthier relationships. Mama Stokes talked about forgiving herself as well as her parents. Improving our mental health. Our mental health can elevate, exponentially as we embark on the journey of forgiveness. Decreasing our anxiety and our stress, quite frankly, that has been developed through our hostility. When we're just angry and mad about it, but we just don't even know why. At some point, it spiraled out of control. Physiologically, if we're able to begin to let go of this unforgiveness, it lowers our blood pressure, helps us to have the blood flow move through us. Fewer symptoms of depression. Those are the byproducts, a stronger immune system, and really, quite frankly, improving our heart health and our self-esteem. Those are some of the things. I just wanted to give you all some hope for what can happen as you embark on this journey of forgiveness for yourself, for other people, because sometimes you need to know what's going to happen if we do this. And there's some other things that we need to really think about as well. Babe, you have people that on IG?
So some IG love here. Snow
IG.
Queen _25 says, this is so helpful, RG, helping people to move forward because people get stuck. Right? That's Snow Queen. Allison says, you're right. Forgiveness is essential. When I am angry, it can turn into bitterness, which is toxic. Okay. Let me see here. Sweet Pea Kim says,
Hey, Sweet Pea Kim.
Yeah, I forgive my leader at work. He was unable to lead me in a supportive way. Okay, and then Sweet Pea says, I forgive myself for not taking responsibility during that time. Good. Excellent. So I love that you all are on thank you. I love, guys, that you are on a journey. For my IG family, thank you for hanging in there and sticking with me, whether it's forgiving somebody at work or forgiving yourself or forgiving your parents, because they didn't know any better. These are acts of, these are gifts, quite frankly. It's not just a gift to the other person, by the way. It's a gift to yourself, because this is the reason why, quite frankly, people don't want to forgive. Oftentimes they feel like I'm going to let the person off the hook if I forgive them, right? I'm going to, no one will hold them accountable for the injury that they caused to me. And the truth is that they may not even be looking at it from the same perspective as you. You may be engaging in what I call a secondary perpetrator. It means that the infraction has been done to you by someone else, but you now continue to hold yourself hostage around these emotions because you've not been able to let it go. And so you then are harming yourself additionally, it's in addition to the harm that you've already been caused. So this is a really, really important concept that now we have some time to really think about. And I guarantee you will start feeling freer. This is just like you purge a room or a drawer. This is about purging the toxic emotions that are residing within your being, within your person, within your mind, body, and spirit. And so here are some things that I believe that can really help you. Don't rush it. Like I said, there's a concept that's called cheap forgiveness, right? There's a woman, we should post, we'll probably put this book up as well. Janice Abraham, I believe is her name. And she talks a lot about cheap forgiveness. That's when you just say the words, but the actions don't follow. That's not what we want. We want to be able to put it into the atmosphere that we're working on this process of forgiveness and then begin to do the work. When someone hurts you, allow yourself to feel those emotions. You all know I always say, in order to heal, you have to feel, but you cannot heal what you do not reveal, right? And so it's important to begin to understand why you need to let this go, right? Sometimes we don't do things because we just don't have the knowledge base to know why it's important to us. That's why I listed a little bit earlier the benefits of moving towards a place of forgiveness. Do what some people would consider to be the unthinkable. Empathize. Put yourself perhaps in the other person's shoes, right? Dr. Maya Angelou, she said that I did the best that I knew how to do, and when I knew better, I did better. So perhaps the person that you're needing to forgive, whether it be you or someone else, didn't know any better. Maybe they had their own injury. And we also know that hurt people hurt people. So if you begin to empathize with them, the other person, or you begin to empathize with yourself, it can begin to soften you and then begin to live in the present. Too often we continue to be in a space of unforgiveness because we're living in the past and not honoring where we are in the present. Michelle says, forgiving brings liberty and peace of mind. You now can move forward in your destiny. Absolutely. Liberty, peace of mind, a freeing experience, all of that. Don't take things so personally. Now, that's a hard one, right? There's a book called The 4 Agreements by Miguel Ruiz, and he specifically talks about not personalizing things in one of his 4 agreements. Well, that's hard when somebody's hurt your feelings. It's hard when they hurt your person. It's hard when they've injured you, right? To not take it personally because it's you that is the person that was involved in the injury. However, at the same time, there are times, quite frankly, when your feelings got hurt or injury happened, and how we need to reconcile that is that I'm not sure that I know anybody that hasn't hurt somebody else too. So it's the same way that we have been harmed or hurt. We've probably, if you've lived long enough, you've hurt someone else. And so trying not to personalize it and absolutely trying not to internalize it. Because sometimes what happens is those injuries were external and now we've internalized them, and we need to begin to externalize them by talking and journaling. Very, very good way to extricate how we're feeling. Beginning, as I said yesterday, letting go of the expectations. That's really, really key when you're embarking on a journey of forgiveness. Why? Because sometimes we're still holding out. We still think that the person is actually going to change, or that they're going to do something different, or the skies are going to open up and they're going to see the error of their ways. And it may or may not happen. But if you shift your expectations, then you can focus your energy on what you need to do to be healthy so that you can forgive them and move on. And then finally, learn from the experience. If you've allowed yourself to be in an unhealthy relationship, if you've allowed yourself or you've given other people permission to treat you badly, learn from those experiences. So as you're embarking on the journey of forgiveness, you're not continuously putting yourself in harm's way of someone else. Cynthia says, working on this very subject. Excellent, excellent. And but guys, working on this, again, it doesn't occur in a vacuum. It doesn't occur overnight. We all have to be intentional about what we feel and what we think and how we're harboring those feelings of unforgiveness that do not allow us to ultimately live our best lives. Michelle said, I've become stronger because of the hurt, but I am so much better for having gone through it. Dr. RG, my story. I do. I do. And, Michelle, I think that your test has been a testimony for so many other people. Every time I see that smiling face and the work that you do, quite frankly, I am inspired if you will. We are going to talk about, and for you guys that have a little bit more time, come on over with us and engage in the panel discussion on grieving. Michelle Washington knows so well about that in the work that she does with Deborah Wilson Funeral Home, with many of the people who are grieving the loss of their loved ones. And that's a challenge, right? Because think about it, people are transitioning, and perhaps you are the person that needed to ask for forgiveness, and the person may have expired. They may have died. You never got a chance to say what you needed to say. Now you have to work on forgiving yourself. All of this is different ways of experiencing trauma that do not allow us to go through the proper process of grieving, right? So we're going to be talking about that from 11 to 12:30. In the meantime, I want everyone to continue on their journey of moving to a healthy place of forgiveness. This is our purging process. This is about our health and healing, and we need to do this together. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back, so stay with us. Have these conversations. So I was just saying to the IG family, and I'm going to say it to you guys on YouTube and Facebook, I don't take this lightly that you set your dial to come join us in these quarantine talks. We set out 7 weeks ago, literally, to say, what could we do? How could we give of ourselves to the larger community? And we came up with quarantine talks. And this, we felt like, was a courageous conversation connect space, a space where we could connect and have these courageous conversations. And today is no different. I believe that this conversation about the spirit of forgiveness and the journey of forgiveness and how we liberate ourselves from unforgiveness is absolutely essential to our growth, to our development. It's essential to our relationships with other people, and it's essential to our freedom. If we're going to live the best lives while we're now here, if we're going to upgrade and elevate who we are, whose we are, and the relationships that we have to start with ourselves, and we have to begin to do the work. It's really, really essential. So I'm hoping that this is a helpful conversation for you. I hope that you continue. We're going to check in tomorrow again at 10 o'clock. With everyone for the quarantine talks. And again, stay with us if you are wanting to hear the panel discussion, not just with me, but with clergy from the community, as well as other political professionals, as well as mental health professionals. Join us at A Time to Grieve. You go on the Facebook page, my Facebook page, the flyer will be listed. You can click the link and join that conversation with us. In the meantime, I want to continue to invite you to breathe throughout the day, invite you to engage in positive energy throughout the day. Take your time to rest, take your time to be productive, take your time to settle into where you're at in this process 7 weeks into quarantine, so that when we get through this, and we will get through this together, that you will be stronger, you will elevate and be a higher version of yourself. All right, that's all I got for today. Have a beautiful day on purpose, guys. From my heart to yours. Love you.